Start. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome everyone for the today's webinar on cloud computing. I would like to extend a special welcome to our today's speaker, Mr. Mohamed Hishaam, who was an alumni of EC Department, B.S. Abdurrahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Vandalur, Chennai. Before starting our today's webinar, I request Ms. Anisha, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, to introduce the speaker. Over to you, madam, please.
Thank you, sir. Mohamed Hishaam, Development Engineer, COMCAST Engineering Center. He has a rich experience in developing COMCAST Xfinity Smart Internet platform to change the way of Wi-Fi with a whole new way to personalize and control the home network with application and to make a gateway smart with exclusive Wi-Fi control and advanced security to customers and providing adaptive Wi-Fi extender, etc. His role, adaptive mesh Wi-Fi development and testing, data engineering and data analytics on Xfinity data platform. He did plenty of projects, mention few, real-time hazardous gas management system using NI Stereo, employment tracking system and attendance system face recognition and cloud computing for Nokia solution. Now, I request our alumni, Mr. Mohamed Hishaam, to share his knowledge on cloud computing to our participants. Please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for introducing me. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So today I am here to share with you the knowledge which I have about the cloud computing. Okay. So let me share my screen. PPT. Okay. Okay. So without wasting your time, I just want to start on the cloud computing part, like what it is and what is the impact for that and etc. So the agenda for today's webinar is, so first we will go through what are all the various IT applications which we have today, right? What we are dealing today. So, and what are the problem before cloud comes into picture and how after cloud comes, how it has solved the problem. And we will go over some of the live demos on like how the cloud looks like, how can we access cloud and etc. And at the end of this session, we will have a Q&A session for 10 to 15 minutes. So let's get started. Okay. So first of all, I want to just ask you a few questions like what is IT applications? Like everyone aware of what is IT applications. Every day we are dealing with lots of IT technologies, right? For an example, we are aware of web applications, right? Every day we are using YouTube, Google, right? Or Netflix and whatever the major applications which we are using today. It's all applications of IT, right? The second thing, like big data analytics, right? So whatever data which we have, the people's lots of big engineers and good engineers are actually looking at the data which we have, and they're actually exploring and finally publishing the reports. You can take an example of the COVID-19, like how the trends are like each and every countries and cities, like, but you can take this example for this. The third thing which I can share with you is the Internet of Things, right? We have Tesla Motors, like entire things is automated here, and we have routers and home automation devices. So everything is being controlled via like internet. So I want to just ask you a small question, like what are common in this room? Okay, so we have web applications, we have big data analytics, and we have IoT applications. So I think there may be something which is common among all these things. So the things which is common in this, right, is you can think is some piece of software which is actually running on every service, right? Somewhere there is some piece of software which is running on some computer. Because of that, we are able to access the YouTube or Google, or we can able to access the IoT solutions entirely here. Okay, so yeah, we can just move forward. Okay, so I want to make this webinar as quite like an interactive, and you can think like we are creating a project here. Okay, let's assume that we are going to build a project. Okay, what is the project here? We are actually building a CBSE like board results web application here, where student can come to the website and they can use the results. They can see the results, right? Let's assume that government has given a project to us. It's not a real time, just we are assuming this, make an assumption for this. Okay, so let's move forward. So So we have got this project from, let's say, from any government officials or somewhere, and we have a development team who are actually building this software. Okay, let's say that we have developed the application here. Okay, we want the people to use it via the internet. Okay, so we have developed, and how, and what you require to achieve this. That means how can we, things which we have developed in the platform, how can we make sure that the people who are outside, like outside means everywhere, they can able to see the results via the internet, what you actually require to achieve this. Hmm? Okay, let's say the traditional, I'm just talking about the traditional system. So what has happened in the traditional ways is you required a set of servers, okay, for sets of servers, and you require a power backup, and you want switches, and you want like temperature controlled environment where you will run this specific server. Okay, so it's quite like it's like costly, right? You have if you want to buy this servers, then only you can able to make this application for the users. Okay, the second thing which is quite complicated here is we want some expert peoples to manage this complex infrastructure. The infrastructure is nothing but the servers, the switches, the small buildings, and you can think of power backup and all the things which we require. Then we need some people to, who can manage this all these things. So as you know, it is quite complicated. It's not a simple process to achieve this, right? So what happens? We require a high price. We know we want a high cost to actually to make the initial setup. So it's actually quite complex, right? Quite complicated. And you can think, okay, if you have some sort of money and you have said you have invested in this, let's say you have invested on this and you bought this server and you have the people to manage the infrastructure and you bought the peoples and you have required hired the people to manage this infrastructure. Okay, so let's say that you have developed the software for the CBSE board exam. Okay, then you have invested for the infrastructure, like for the servers and for the backup systems and all the other things. Okay, then you have also hired the people to manage this everything. Okay, so everything looks great, and what you have did is you have deployed your application onto the respective server. Okay. Then your everything is working fine, you are testing now, everything is working fine. Then the day comes, oh, result day, right? In the result day, what happens, all the people, so here we have 20 lakh students each year who are applying, who are writing the CBSE exams. So as you know, if we are actually concerned about results, right? We will be first time when the results come to website, everyone is go and see the results. So you can think in the way that at the first 15 minutes, if 20 lakhs people come to the website and they want to see the results, okay, there will be a very huge load on the server side, Okay, let's say the number of servers which you have bought previously, if the load doesn't handle, this will affect the user experience. That means the user may feel like some experience lagging. Sometimes the website is not working, website will be very slow, latency issues. So you can see there is a lots of multiple things is happening in the traditional way. So it's a huge, like it's so if you want to handle this one, we want a very big infrastructure. That means lots of servers. So what happened after 15 minutes, we don't want all the server to be, so all the server will be of like idle, and we need to pay the cost for that, because we have our our organization where we have the people who used to manage, we need to pay salary for them. So we are actually bounded to cost. So we are actually, the website is running for only for 1 day, 1 or 2 days here, right? So at the end, we don't have any loads. Next year only we will see the once again the huge load, but all the infrastructure looks idle here. And let's say that CBSE exam, some people's in UAE or in Dubai, somewhere people are also having, they're writing the CBSE exam. They also want to like see the results. So if data center is in India, but they are accessing from UAE, they will see some network latency. Okay. So in order to have all these problems, so what happened? I will also give us one example of Flipkart. So how it make one. So this is one of the headline which I got from the business line, like Flipkart fumbles on the big billion day as the server fails. That what happened the first day when the Flipkart launches the big billion day, it was worked fine. Like for 10 hours, the Flipkart has made a revenue of like $100 million for 10 hours. Then what happened? The people and the load started increasing. The Flipkart system was not able to scale, and the system become very much unstable. That means there are some payments was failing and somewhere else is failing. So it makes lots of loss to the Flipkart, as well as the fame of Flipkart gets quite low at that time. So you can think like how critical it is when you're having a business and if you have a traditional way. Okay, so what is the solution for this? So this is all the problem which we have. Okay, so what may be the solution for this? Okay, let's say someone is coming to us. Okay, so what is the problem? We can just look at the problem of traditional system. Okay, we have the high cost for infra and maintenance, right? Second thing, we require experts for operations. It will not scale automatically, right? What we need to have 100 servers at the time. It will not, if the load is increased, it will not scale like that. And it's difficult to deploy globally. What I told earlier, right? If we have a data center in our India, but if someone is accessing from UAE, for UAE people, the better experience will be if they have a data center at UAE. But if you want to set up in UAE, it will be quite difficult, right? And the security concerns and take because and we have you can see the development is done way back, but because we are dependent on infrastructure, it's taking a lots of time to buy the resource and everything managing. So it takes lots of time to make what we have developed to make into market. So it's not agile. Okay. So let's say that if somebody come to us and he will say, hey, I provide you a solution. Okay. What is the solution which you provide? Okay, let's say that I will provide you the server for rent via internet. Okay? So you don't want to buy any servers. Okay. So what you do, you use my server. When you use, you pay the price. So whatever you use from your side, what you do, just you pay me. Like how much you use, you can pay. So we don't require. So there is someone is coming us who is telling that, hey, we provide you the server for rent via internet, like remotely. You can access those servers and whatever using, you can pay as it, how much you pay, how much you use, that much you pay. So it is very much effective for us. So we don't want all the money to spend on infrastructure. Rather than we can focus on developing some cool projects with cool engineers and developers. Well, this is the first thing which somebody is providing us. Okay, the second thing, easy to use. Oh, easy to use. We don't want to call the people like organization, hey, I want a server for rent, can you just give me a server? So what they had did is, so this customer who is coming and telling us, hey, I am giving you self-service like a vending machine. Whatever you want, you insert it and you can get the data here. So as it's simple, like whatever you want, you can have a self-service like a vending machine. We will see all these things in a life, like after these 1 or 2 slides. Okay, so don't need to worry about here. Okay, so elasticity, right? Yeah. So if the load increase, we want the system to auto scale. That means if the load is high, we want the server to scale from 1 to hundreds or 1,000 depends on the load. Or if the load is not there, it will automatically scale down to 1, 2, or 3. How much it actually required? It's a very, very good property that, right, we have this elasticity. If somebody provides this like elasticity, it will be very, very helpful for all the developers and application engineers here. Okay. The fourth, agile, right? If somebody is providing like this, all these cost savings and this easy to use service and elasticity, it will be very easy for developers to market this to the production. It takes very small time. So we are actually more agile in this manner if somebody provide here. Deploy globally. So the customer who is coming and telling all these features, he's also telling that if you want to make your service to run on US, on UAE or India or anywhere, so it is very good for us. So that the people who are on US, who are on UAE, they have very less network latency. Okay, so all the problem. Let's start. Okay, I want a one machine, like one computer for to run my application. Okay, so how can I run this? So I told you it's a self-service. We don't want to call anybody. We don't raise a ticket to somebody. Hey, I want this. Need permission. So it's very, very simple. Go to this console here, and what you do, you launch your instance. Okay. So hey, it's telling us like what machine you require. Whether you require a Linux machine, you want a Red Hat, SUSE Linux, Ubuntu, or Windows machine. So whatever the machine which you required, you can easily buy this machine from here. Okay. So let's say that I want an Ubuntu machine where I need to run my application. So what I do here, I will go here and open to select whatever you want. You can take here. So there is no restrictions here. So which OS you want, you can take. So there is no vendor locking. Whatever you want, which machine you want, you can take those machines. So I am going here. I am selecting. I want a Ubuntu machine. Okay. Oh, Ubuntu. Okay, I want a Ubuntu, but I need how much RAM and how much storage which I required, and what is the network performance. Everything is matters, right? Okay, so you can see here, we have like multiple selections. We can have multiple options, like whatever you want, you can select. Let's say that we want like here general purpose, like it has one VPUs and 1 GB of RAM here. Okay, RAM, and the network is latency will be like quite low to moderate. And like if you want like 8 GB RAM, and if you want like more, like you can see how much RAM. So you have like 256 GB RAM, 344. It's a big service. 512 GB RAM. You can see all the things, and you can see the network latency here. It's very less than, it's a 10 gigabit speed. So it's very useful. Whatever for application, what server you want, you can easily acquire. So for this testing purpose, I will use this. Okay, with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Okay, so let's move to some other configuration here. Okay, so how much instance you want? So how much machines you want? If you want like 1 machine, 2 machine, 3 machine, how much you want, you can select that much. And also if you want, you can select the auto scaling group. I told you, right? The cloud provides you auto scaling. Like if some load is getting increased, the system will scale. Okay, automatically scales. Okay, so if you want like that, you can also take a security group. So for this, what I am doing for the demo purpose, I'm just using one instance, only one instance. So we will see this for all this network security. We'll see as time constraint, we will see time permits, or for demo purpose, I'm just skipping all this. Okay, and if you want, you can add storage, like how much storage you require. So by default, it's an 8 GB, not RAM, it's an hard disk. It's an SSD. So if you want, you can also select the magnetic old tapes. That will be at less cost here. Okay, less cost. So what I am doing here, I am now launching. Hey, this is what the configuration I want. Okay, so okay, I'm just going here. Oh, okay. So this is so it is showing us the entire description, like what is that. It's quite looks similar to how Amazon.com, like when you ship something, how it's finally it will tell how much the cost it is. But yeah, it quite looks similar to this. So I am renting a Ubuntu server. Okay, Ubuntu having this Ubuntu 20.04 version, like similar like Windows 10 or Windows 8, like that. Okay, how much storage I have and how much the tags here. And I have not configured any security for this, so it's open. Okay, now I am launching here. Okay, so for launching this, it's asking us you have a keypad. Okay, so what it actually is keypad is, so this key I already have generated a keypad. This key is nothing but encryption from our side and the cloud side. Hey, if you want to log in inside to that remote server, it's always secure that you have some kind of key. It's the same. It's using the same RSA algorithm, which I think so the students who are actually learning on final year or like 7th semester or network and need computer networks. So there we have learn about the cryptography and how the RSA algorithms work. It's actually use the same algorithm here. So already I have generated generate a new keypad. Okay, not sorry. Okay, if you want, you can generate a new key. Oh, I am acknowledging here. Okay, I am not launching the instance. So, oh, I am launching. I want. Wait, it's spinning up. Okay, it's launching the instance. But let's see how it's coming up. Cool. Yeah, it's starting. You can see it's a state is in pending, and it's take like you can think it takes less than 1 or 2 minutes to 1 or 2 minutes to spin up this one. Okay, so in cloud's perspective, what we call this service. The service is nothing but self, right? We have a vending machine, we cannot configure service. And you can think the infrastructure, like we are actually renting the compute, storage, and network instance. So this we are calling this as an infrastructure as a service. That means the AWS is providing the infrastructure as a service to us. So it will be very easy to manage this. Okay. So this is called as infrastructure as a service, or somebody calls it IaaS. Okay, so we have it's running. Okay, cool. You can see the status. Okay, status, it's running. Cool. So what if you want to connect to that? If you want to connect to that website, okay, so what we can do, I am connecting to the remote machine from my UI. See, it's running. I'm going into that server now. Cool, yeah, I am inside this server. Cool. If you want, you can use this server. Like, if you want, you can create a directory, whatever you want. Like, so if you want, if you so what here, you can go here and whatever application you want. Like if you want to install Python, if you want to install Java, if you want to install anything, you go here and you can use it, right? But here only small pain we have, what we have is we need to install Python, we need to install all these things, then we need to run the application, right? So it's also looks quite painful. Like how why we need to install all this? It will be very better if we have the platform, right? That means all the Python and Java, everything present, okay, everything present, and only things what we need to do, we can run the code, that's it. Whatever code we have developed, we want to just run. So this also looks fine. This means this we are provided, so it reduces lots of effort, but it's a small pain. We need to manage all this, like this instances. Okay, so let me go over to how the, but Amazon and other peoples also provide the as a platform of the service. So here, you don't need to worry about infrastructure, about these machines. Just write the code and give the code to us. We will manage all these like servers, like machines side. Only you give us the code, we will run. That is also a self-service. So I will next. I will go over to the next. Okay. So okay, I think so. You are done this, and you can easily. So it's quite easy to stop this. Okay, if you stop this, so how much you run, that much you need to pay. Each second matters. Okay, so I am just stopping this. Stopping means it's up to you. That means it's also reserved. That means nobody else is using, so you also need to pay if you are stopping the systems also. So if you don't want to use now, what you can do is, let's wait to stop this. Okay, let's wait, it will take a less time to stop. Okay, so after it stop, what we can do, we can delete this or we can terminate means we are just destroying this part, so that the other people who want to run, they can use the same machine, so we don't need to buy. So if you stop, it includes in the billing. Okay, if you want to terminate, right? Terminate means we are just detaching here. So what it's telling is, if you want to detach, it's actually you are also want to detach the hard disk. Okay, so like if you having installed something, like if you have saved some file in the hard disk, if you terminate this, it will destroy it. So what we need to do, we need to take a backup before we terminate this. So as of this demo, I didn't have any data in this, so I just terminate this. But in real scenario, if you have some data, don't terminate this, have a backup, and then you can terminate. Okay. Now I'm terminating this, it's going to shutdown state. Yeah, so some other people, if they want, they can use this. So if we don't consider not to billing, look good, right? Very pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so this is the infrastructure as a service example. It is shutting down and it will move to the what terminating state. Okay, a state is shutting down, after that it will move to terminate state as a red color. Okay, so now I am, so why I want like this, right? So I think I told you, right, why we want to have this also. You can see it's quite terminated state. I am done, so there is no billing for me now also for that. Yeah, so then okay, so we have something called as elastic beanstalk. So what it is, so only thing what we need to do is we need to write the code and give the code to AWS. So AWS will manage all the infrastructure underlying. So it's more simple than what we see earlier on EC2. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm creating a new environment. Okay, or our application if you want. And what I'm doing here is I'm creating a new application. So what I'm doing application is, I will give an application, like whatever do you do. I told you, right, we have developed this one, right? Or we can see like CBSC website, which I told you, you can description. If you want, you can add some description to this and text to this. Okay, so it looks quite nice. Yeah, you can think here. Okay, right. You can create a new environment. Okay, web server environment. Okay, you can see here, right? Okay, you can see it's quite simple. So what we can do, we have a website here, environment. Okay, so if you want, you can have the domains also. Like what website you want. Okay, I want something like CBSC website. Yeah, CBSC. Okay, so what you can do. So which code you're writing actually the code? I'm using Python. Oh, cool. So Python. So what I need to do here is, so what are the thing I need to do? I need to, from a local, I need to actually upload the file if I have. Okay. So if I develop some application, I can directly go here and I can put my code here and run it. So for testing for this one, I have a sample application which AWS already have. So that's it. If you have like, if you want to configure more, you can do. That means auto scaling, right? If you, let me show you. It's very nice. Like you can have multiple things. I want to do something here on edit, like capacity, right? You can, whatever you want, you can see like how many, if something is wrong here, like load balancer. Okay, how much minimum you want? How much minimum? Like one, and maximum how much you want? You want like 100 instance to use the scale load increase. It will automatically scale to maximum of 1,000. If you want to that's 1,000 lakhs, how much you want? You can simply you can verify it. It's very simple, right? It's very simple. Okay, so okay, let me create new environment. Okay, want a web server. Okay, I want a version to be Python. Okay, I don't want any auto scaling, all these things. So I will just create an environment here. Describing configuration, validating, creating, updating service rule. Fail to validate rule. Okay, let's continue to anyone. See here, it's working. This will take few minutes to span the website. So after this, our website will be ready. Okay. So it's really cool, right? It's really cool. So after this website comes up, we can easily use our application. Right? Creating environment is starting, and it will tell us whatever we want. Okay, so after this is coming up, we have our website ready, and we can easily see the website if you want. Here. So our environment and our application, if you want, you can see this application also. It's actually is coming up. CBSC website, right? It's starting, it will take a few minutes. Okay, look at it, say that if it's working, you will get an IP address. If you run that, you will have a application is ready. It's a very simple. Okay, very simple. Okay. I think so you got up to this, you got some sort of clear understanding of about how cloud is and how easy the cloud, right? How easy the cloud looks and how easy, right? It is used to manage, and if you want anything, how easy it looks to manage and all to do the things, right? It's in pending state. If it's run, we can able to see the website. It's very simple. Okay, so let's go back to the PPT. Okay, so I think so you got the good picture about the cloud computing, and we have seen the demo, right? We have seen the two demos, right? One is EC2 instance, like creating a machine, and it will give us an IP address. So we need to go inside that IP address, and we need to install whatever software we want, and then we need to install the code, read the code. Okay, this also looks pain. Like we need to install the software, it took some time. So what if somebody is providing us, hey, don't worry about the software installation. Whatever you have code, just give it to us. We have the environment ready. So that's the things come the Elastic Beanstalk. So Elastic Beanstalk provides a platform. So only code you give and we will run, and just select the auto scaling, how much instance you want. It's very simple. Okay, so this is what I told you, right? So we have in the cloud, we have these three categories. So one is the IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So I think so IaaS, you are a bit clear, right? IaaS is nothing but the EC2. It will give us the machine. We need to manage the machine and put the code inside it and multiple things. But if you think of PaaS is a platform as a service. So don't worry about the how the things you need to run on servers. Just you give the code, it will run automatically. Just we see like Elastic Beanstalk. And the SaaS is very simple. The SaaS is nothing but a software as an application, software as a service. You can think as a Google Docs is a very, very good example for this. So in Google Docs, they are providing the application. Don't worry about server, don't worry about development things, right? Just your user, right? How you use whatever file you want, you can go put inside the Google Docs. If you want to create a spreadsheet, create the spreadsheet. If you want to create a Google Docs, you can create a Docs. So don't worry anything about the underlying infrastructure as a development environment. Is up to you. But you can think like IaaS. IaaS means we can have almost control. Because in SaaS you don't have much control. If you go to PaaS, you have much control because you can change whatever you want in PaaS. In IaaS, you have anything. Whatever you can do, you can able to. Okay. This actually looks very nice, right? Okay, so let's move to some other thing, right? Cloud. So how much cloud we have? So what I showed you now, it's a public cloud. Public cloud in the sense everyone who can use their own AWS cloud. So this new company, we can use cloud. So let's say that what if we have some very, very secure data, like it's a banking application where we have all the customers' bank details, which with the information loss, it would be a very, very loss for the company, right? So, or you can think of in healthcare, so has all the health confidential data of the customer. So in that scenario, we will not rely on AWS or many public cloud. So what the people will do, all the banking application, health sector, they have the separate data center where they have some cloud. So VMware is one of the very, very like brilliant player in this private cloud market. So he provides you this platform where you can manage all your infrastructure very, very easily, same like AWS. So public cloud is for like any applications, right? Yes, you can use public cloud. If you want data is secure, like healthcare or banking application, if you want your data not to be shared across, so you can use private cloud at this time. Okay, then we have something called hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud means you can keep your data on the private cloud and you can run some service on the public cloud. So if you want to scale on the public, it's quite simple when compared to private. Private means it's an own data center. You want the resource should be there. So if you want like this, you can also use the hybrid cloud. This is actually 3 flavors. You can have cloud. So if you want to use public cloud, go to AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, or DigitalOcean, and there are many more Oracle Cloud. Private cloud, you need to have your own data center. There you will install the VMware software to use same as cloud. So it provides all your like service similar to EC2. It's a vSphere and other things. Hybrid cloud, yeah, VMware and AWS, they have a partnership. You can use some kind of hybrid cloud. Okay, so yeah, let's take some of the case study, like I think so it's the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. Okay, so let's say how the electronics industries are using cloud AWS things. Okay, so first we'll take a case study of National Instruments. Okay, National Instruments. Okay. Let's take a case study of the National Instruments. So how they are actually using the cloud. Okay, so what you are seeing in the right hand side is nothing but it's a National Instruments Compatrio. So it's a real-time systems where you can use for any real-time systems for like any which is time constrained. You can think of like spacecrafts or rockets or anything. If you want a very high time latency, you can use this one. It also has some FPGA inbuilt support here. So what happened here is we can develop our FPGA. So what the National Instrument good thing here, what they're developing the LabVIEW software is, so you can do whatever you want it as a code. So if you want to write some like hardware code like FPGA, right? So it's quite complicated to write on Verilog or VHDL. So what LabVIEW provides you is it's a kind of like GUI, graphical programming, where you can do, and don't worry anything about how it's moving to like FPGA. Okay, so it makes all the planning and all the things. So and finally it will dump the code on the FPGA. So the hardware will build as of for. So how the National Instruments AWS Cloud uses cloud. So let me go over to this okay, so National Instruments case study here, right? You can see here the National Instrument case study. So if you build some code here, right? Code, some like GUI. If you want to run on the FPGA, so it takes lots of planning. So to do the FPGA planning, it takes lots of computation power. So if you have your machines, your local, it takes like hours to compute this. So what National Instrument is doing, they are making use of the power of AWS on the cloud. So they are running their designs on the putting onto AWS, and it has optimization algorithm which actually runs, and it makes a perfect planning for the FPGA, which takes hours for you to do on a local machine, which can be done within minutes on cloud because we have multiple machines here. So you can see it where they have committed here with EC2. We easily save 80 to 90% of cost because we don't want our infrastructure always, because when we want to optimize our FPGA, then only we reduce. So it has reduces the lots of cost for National Instruments. Like, okay, you can think, and you can see they have, I think, got like, okay, 16% they have got. So let's say about the Comcast, which I works, right? The Comcast is nothing but it's actually the world's largest cable company, right? It's in the world's largest cable company and provide internet service to the United States and United Kingdoms and entire Europe. So what happened here is, so we are actually using, we have all our internet service and internet service and TV service. So all the things is having the connected to cloud. So we are actually using the hybrid environments. You can see here this case study, they're using hybrid environment. So some data will be in our data centers and will be in AWS cloud. So this is a very good case study for you. Okay, it's actually very nice. So this is how the cloud is, right? So if you want, like, this is up and running, cool. You can think here, right? So this one we have say like it is coming up now. If you open this website, yeah, your website is done. See, it's the website you are thinking, congratulations, your website Elastic Beanstalk, Python is now working. Similar to this, if you are running your CBS make application, whatever application you want, you can just write the code and put the code inside the AWS Elastic Beanstalk. It will automatically write. It will create a very easily environment. Okay. If you want to terminate here, it's quite simple. Go here, terminate the environment. Here, it's everything a configuration. If you want, you just need to write the what environment name, right? If you just copy this, just want to make confirm here. Yeah, terminate this. So after terminating, cool. Okay, so let's come back to PPT. So we have covered like 14 minutes. We have make a very good workflow. Let's take your 5 minutes of time, and we will move to the Q&A session. Okay. So you have think here, right, which I showed you the AWS console here, where we can actually create. See, where we can create here whatever machines we want, right? Whatever machines we want, and how much RAM we want. Also, we can select, right? How you think it's actually happening on the data center backend part? It's taking. I'm like going into more in-depth details. So how it's actually happening? If you want to configure 4 GB RAM, if you want 2 GB RAM, so what do you think? Whether it's having like the data center has 1 GB RAM, multiple servers, 2 GB RAM, multiple servers? No, it's not the case. So what they're having the big servers in there. So what in there, inside that they have a small softwares which will be called as a hypervisor, which on top of that we can spin multiple OS which we want. Okay, this seems odd to you. I will just show you a very small demo in this point. Okay, let's go into the VMware workstation with a hypervisor. You can think, right? I am using a Windows machine, right? Like Windows, right? So it's a Windows machine. So it's possible. So with the help of hypervisor, so Windows VMware is a hypervisor. With the help of this, we can run Linux machines or any Linux machine on top of the Windows. Okay, so if I click this CentOS, CentOS is a Red Hat open source version. If you want, you can use this, right? VMware, and you can run this. So now what I am running here is I am running a Linux machine on top of Windows machine. See how it's good, right? This is how the same thing, what I am showing you as a small demo, this is what the same thing which AWS uses for their servers, how they're actually configuring this, right? So you can actually select like how much you want memory and how much you want select. I will show you here. Let's see. Yeah, you can see here, right? If you want CentOS, it will show you how much memory. See, yeah, sorry. So, okay, it will show you like you can configure. 1 second. I am opening this, sorry. Okay. You can also, what you can do is here, you can configure like how much RAM you want, how much memory you require. See here, I'm opening this. Hey, login and up. It's what it's actually, it will come up. Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, you are seeing that Linux OS, which is coming running on top of Windows machines, right? It's really nice, right? Really nice. Okay, so you can see we can change the RAM also. How much RAM we want, we can change. Similarly, how it's saying, right? You can how much RAM you want to configure to that expected machine. You can select that much RAM, right? And my laptop has 16 GB RAM. You can configure from for this small OS. If you want to run, you can configure which how much RAM you want. You can actually configure like this. Okay, so that's what I have with you to share. If you want to use any cloud, start the cloud, and it's actually now is trending. So if you want to use, you can use AWS Cloud and Google Cloud. They're actually providing 1 year of free. If you have a student, if you have such scholars, you can easily use AWS or Google Cloud or Azure. They're all providing you 1 year free access, right? So you can use it easy. You can use it easily, freely for 1 year with some hours, right? So it will be very useful if you want to learn cloud. Oh, sorry, I was just presenting. Yes, sorry. Thought I'm presenting my screen. Oh, I thought we are skipped back. Hello. Hello. Intermediately, I was dropped. I didn't notice like what I dropped. Can someone help me like where it was happened? Actually, I was.
You can go ahead, Isham.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I what I did is so I have started. I have actually completed session. I didn't recognize that the screen sharing was not happened. So can you just note where I actually stopped my PPT session? From there, I can continue. So let me share PPT. So I thought I have completed everything. Yeah. So can somebody tell me? Yeah, I think I have till here, right? When we are running the EC2 instance, when we are launching here EC2, right? I thought we have, I did here till this, I think my screen was on the sharing position. Okay, so let me start from here, okay? Ma'am, whether it's fine to extend the session or I can complete timing. Okay, so what I was doing at this time. So, ma'am, can you just acknowledge me that whether I can extend from time or I need to complete within time?
Yeah, you can extend mission.
Okay, sure, ma'am. Okay, okay, so okay. I was telling you that. So how easy it's actually to solve all this problem. How easy that we can use cloud, right? So what we can do here easily, right? We have multiple machines here. Okay, you have Ubuntu server and you have Windows machine, whatever machine you want, you can use here. Okay, so for this demo purpose, what I will do, I will select this Ubuntu. Okay, Ubuntu server. I think that till here I was there. Till is here, I think so. I was sharing this. After that, it went down. Not sure. Okay, so here. So what we have options here is, so you can see here we have multiple machines. So whatever memory you want, you can select. Like if you want 1 GB RAM, you can select 1 GB RAM. If you want 2 GB RAM, you can select 2 GB RAMs. And if you want like 192 GB RAM, also is there, 384 GB RAM. And if you want to also have the network's capacity here, right, 10 gigabits, you can also have. You can think here, right? It's there. So whatever you want, you can like. It's up to you, like which machine you want, you can use. What I do here, I will rent this machine, okay? This machine which has one virtual CPU and 1 GB of memory, okay? Then what I am do here, so what I will do next, I will want to configure here, okay? Okay, so I have one instance. So what I am doing here is I want only one machine. If you want to have multiple machines, if you want like 10 machines, you can put 10 or 5, how much you want, you can put here. So for this sake, I want only one machine, okay? And if you want to scale automatically based on hard disk, if you want, you can use SSD. If you want, you can use magnetic tapes and old one. So I will use SSD for my case. And what I will do, I will not launching. Okay, so this is the one which quite looks same as your Amazon.com, like your billing thing, like what you have ordered and how much, what the description. It looks same. I have ordered a Ubuntu server. Which has like T2 micro and one which was CPU and 1 GB RAM here. Okay, so 1 GB RAM and yeah, for storage I have 8 GB storage. So that's what I want. So I am just launching now. So here what it's showing here is you want a key pair. Okay, what is key pair is nothing but for proper securely authenticating to that server. This server is in remote, some data center. We want this server to connect by us, by us only, not by other people. So we will create a key value pair. It's same like the RSA algorithms which we have studied on our network, computer networks final semester, right? In the RSA algorithm, it's same algorithms where we have the public key and private key. So I have my private key, which I generated earlier in my local machine. So I'm acknowledging and launching the server. If you want, you can create a new key pair. Okay, it will create algorithm. So then what I am doing, I am launching my machine. You can see how easy it's to launch a machine, right? So after this, yeah, so what happened is after this, it looks good, right? We are actually starting, the machine is now starting up. You can see here, the instant state is in pending. That means the machine is starting up. Machine is starting up. So it looks really, really nice. Okay, this looks really nice. So we will wait for 1 or 2 minutes here, 1 or 2 minutes here, so that the machine can come from pending state to the running state. That means it's powering up and it's booting up. So till then, what we can see here, so this service is what we call as an EC2. It's also called as an infrastructure as a service. What it means, so the infrastructure, you can think of network, you can think of compute, you can think of storage, all the things what we have is automated, right, for us within a few clicks, based on like similar like vending machine. Within a few clicks, we are able to get this. So this we call as an infrastructure as a service or an IaaS. Okay. So now the service has came up, our machine has come up. Okay, it's within less than a minute. So if you want to use this machine, okay, if you want to use this machine, what you do? Go here, make a connection. Okay, can make easily and just connect. Okay. Cool. So what you can see here is I am trying to connect a remote machine which is there on the AWS data center. Okay, AWS data center. Cool. So you can see I am logged in such device and you are here. So whatever you want you can do. If you want to create a directory here, it's done. It's the same machine, right? It's the same machine which you have, right? Which is the same machine. What it's a server, right? What you want? It's an Ubuntu machine, right? If you want your IPF config, what is IP address, like IP config, right? It's not installed a thing, so that we need to install. So it's providing us the like Linux machine, whatever you want, you need to install on top of it. If you want to install Python, you need to install here. Then you need to run your application here. So this looks quite pain, right? Because we want our application to run. For example, like our CBSE website, if you want to run here, we want first run our Python or Java or any other application which you want. Then only we can run our application here. So it also looks quite pain. But Amazon and the other providers, what they are giving us, they are providing us another service. So this service, don't worry of anything about infrastructure. Okay. So what you can do is, just write a code and give the code to us. We will manage all the infrastructure to you. Okay. This is also self-service, like vending machine. This we will see later after this. Okay. So I think so. This looks good for you, like for how to create instance. If you want, right? What we can do. It's running means it will be as a charge. Like how much you use, you need to pay. If you don't want to use, okay. If I want to stop, you can stop it. Stop is nothing but it's stopping the instance, but it's creating billings. Basically, it's just stopping. If you want to remove, we need to terminate. Then only it will not consider it as a billing session. Okay, I think so. It's good. Okay, I'm just stopping it. It will be in a stopping case. Okay, so what we can do now, what we can do is we can go to another service, which I told you, right? Which I told you what we called as Elastic. That one, which yeah. This is an elastic bean stack. So here, don't consider anything, right? So what you are doing, just write a code and give the code to Amazon. It will consider and it will run the application. Don't need to rent a server and install the software in it and then write your code, then deploy your code. Okay. So what I am doing here, okay, I am actually creating a new environment here. Okay, web server I am trying to create. I'm application, you can creating a sample web application here. Yeah. Right. If you want your environment name, sample web environment name. What is the website name? I'm making as cbsc.aws.com. Okay. So if you want to have the description, you can give. And which software you want to run. If you want to run on Java or Python or Golang, anywhere, like you can set, I am selecting Python. Okay, this looks good, right? So after what you can do here, you can upload your code, like what you have developed in a local. You can just that code you can upload here. Then just here, so choose the file and run that. That's simple, right? This is a sample. So what I am doing here now, I am create a sample application. Okay, I will create a sample application. And I will create an environment. Okay, sample application means which AWS already have. Okay, which AWS already have, we can use the same application. It's creating now. See how simple it is. We can like continue anywhere. Okay, it's creating. It will take some time. It will take some 2 to 5 minutes to actually to start this setting up all the environment and start our service. Okay, this one what we called here, right? Here we are not actually creating any machines, right? What we are doing here, only we are writing the code and giving the code to AWS. It's actually creating all the service for us. This one, what we are calling here is as a platform as a service. So platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. Okay. So let's go till this comes up. Let's go back to our PPT and we can look at something, right? So live demo, we have seen two things, right? Elastic, like AWS EC2, Elastic Compute, and we have also seen the Elastic Beanstalk. So this is the three models of cloud which we have. The first thing, right, the bottom we have IaaS, infrastructure as a service. Then a second thing, PaaS, then SaaS. I think I have covered this two things, right? Infrastructure as a service and platform as a service. So infrastructure as a service, only the network storage and this thing they are giving us. But platform, they're giving a platform, like they are installing the Python and giving to us. So only thing we need to write the code or code. But the third thing, SaaS, the SaaS is nothing but they're giving us the entire software itself. For example, the Google Docs, Google Drive is a very, very good example, right? With the help of Google Drive, what we can do, the help of Google Drive, Google give us a platform, right? We can easily, whatever file we want, we can store. And if you want to create Google Docs like Excels or Word document, everything, whatever you can create. So this is the quite three things different between. So I think I have covered you IaaS and PaaS. So SaaS, I don't want me to explain because as everyone is using this as every day. So I think I can skip this part. Okay, so let's come back to this. This is not started yet. Okay, let's move to next thing called clouds. Okay, so what is cloud? So what happened in cloud? So I think so you got a little bit picture on what is cloud. So here I want to like tell you about different types of cloud we have. So we have like public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. So why we have these three things? So in which situation and which scenario we need to move to each cloud? Let's consider the public cloud. Okay, public cloud. So public cloud is nothing but like if anything you can run on public cloud is a shared, like everyone who want you can use those cloud. But private cloud, when we need to use, so private, even you have your data is very highly confidential. For example, you have the banking application, banking data, customer account details, and you have a healthcare data where you have all the customers' health details. So in these things, you will use the private cloud because we don't want this data to be in the open, like in the public cloud where everyone can use. So better the private cloud here is in your own data center, we will install some sort of software. Okay, that software actually provided by some people's. Except the very best one is the VMware. VMware provides a very good software which we can run our data center, which becomes as a cloud, private cloud. So we can easily manage our infrastructure easily using the VMware, vSphere, or something else. Okay, so I think this makes sense. Okay, so the third thing, the hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud is nothing but the combination of both public cloud. It's a combination of both public cloud and the private cloud. So let's say if you can store your data on private cloud, all your data, but if you can run your service on the AWS, okay, so you can store data on your own data center, but you can run service on the AWS. So this is what the hybrid cloud, which I discussed, right? So then it comes to the small thing of case study part here, right? We can make a small, very fast go through of case study, like how as it is a presentation, which is webinar, which is presented by the electronics communication department. So we can also make sure like how electronics industries, like how electronics and communication industries are using clouds for their works to get simple. Let's consider a first thing, right? National Instruments. National Instruments, I think everyone is aware of it. They are providing the real-time systems. This graph on the right side, it's actually the AWS National Instruments Compact Trio, which is a real-time system which is used quite on the rockets on real-time systems. So how AWS uses, how the National Instrument uses cloud. So we can see this. Yeah, we can see this quite simple. Yeah, we can see this. So yeah, this is a case study which Amazon has published in that page. So AWS, with the help of EC2 instance, the National Instrument has saved their cost to 85 to 90%. So what actually that happened is, so National Instruments for the real-time systems, they're having the FPGA. So with the help of GUI, right, graphical programming, which LabVIEW provides on National Instruments, what we can do is, so we can just write code on National Instruments GUI. It will take care, the LabVIEW software take care of doing this code and deploy to the real-time system machines. Okay? Real-time system, it will create a FPGA hardware. Okay, it will create a FPGA hardware. So for to design this, to make the optimization, so it's, if you use a local laptop, it takes hours to complete. But if you use National Instruments kind of thing, the AWS cloud, we can do the same thing, which takes hours in a local machine, which takes minutes in the cloud. This is a use case which National Instrument uses. And coming to the Comcast use case, the Comcast has in their Comcast is the world's largest cable company and provided internet service on entire US. They're also using the AWS. They're using hybrid cloud. It means they have their own data center and also use AWS for cloud, right, for all the production systems. So this is one of use cases which Comcast uses. So I think so. I covered something here. So I think here you can see with the instance which we created long back, right? Long few minutes back, it's up and running. You can see here, right? Yeah, it's done, right? You can see here our application which we created on the Elastic Beanstalk earlier as a business platform as a service is now running. So it's how simple it is using cloud, right? It's very, very simple if you look at the cloud. So I think I have covered much here, what I actually planned. Okay, so let's move on to some sort of Q&A session, which we can consider. Yeah. Ma'am, can you just start this Q&A?
Yeah, Hishaam, thank you. Thanks for your presentation. It was quite interesting to watch all the live demonstrations. I'll take up some queries posted by the participants.
Okay.
There is a couple of queries from Mr. Narayanan Gajapati. His first query is, what is the cost difference between public cloud and private cloud?
What is the difference between public and private cloud? Whether is the question?
Yeah. What is the cost difference? He's asking about cost difference.
Okay, got it. Cost difference. Yeah. So public cloud, right? Because private cloud is generally you need to own your own data center. So lots of cost involved in private cloud. Because if you think of banking application, there is no option. You need to buy all these servers from your side and set up a data center. But we have softwares like which VMware provides, which you can install on your own data center, which becomes as a cloud. But the cost involved in private cloud is more when you think of public cloud. So it's always better if you have something, move to public cloud. If you have a specific reason that I have a confidential data like banking application or health sector, then you can keep your data on private cloud. That's what all the industry doing. So what they do, some people do is they have the data to store on the private cloud, but service running on public cloud. Like that, we can save cost. I hope I can answer your question.
Yeah. His second query is, can we have an answers tool to do FEA analysis?
Sorry, ma'am. Answer for FEA.
Answers tool to do FEA analysis.
Answers tool. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Ansys, I think so is a mechanical point of view. So I think so though nowadays Ansys, everyone is moving to cloud. So earlier, all these complex mechanical tools, we need to install in our local machine. And if you want to design something really complex, your system sometimes becoming hacked. So what is the advantage it's providing by all the industries are moving to cloud. So you don't want your software to install on a machine. It will run on the cloud. So using your own, like you can log into the browser and you can run all the designs. So I think so it's quite easy, right? Wherever you want, you just need a single laptop. No need software installation. Everything will be in cloud. This is the future of all the industry on mechanical and these things. Many people have been moved. I know that AutoCAD and somebody has moved to the cloud all their softwares. I think I answered this question. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There is an issue faced by Ms. Sonia Jalwal. Okay. She has stored his whole data in cloud, it seems, and the cloud has become full, and she wants to know like how to import the data from the cloud to her device.
Okay, cloud to her device. It's quite simple, right? If you have your data on cloud, one thing I want to show you that the cloud will never full. Cloud will never full. You can have multiple instances on cloud. You need to just scale your the hardware, this SSD, the hard disk which you have. You can increase your hard disk. If you are storing on S3 bucket, I think there is no restriction on S3. So if you are I think there is no restriction on cloud. So that's why cloud coming into picture. Your local machine will fill up, but there is no things of cloud. It has open. If you want to download the thing, it's quite. If you are using S3 bucket, they have the option for download. You can download something if you want. I think that is one thing I am pretty sure is there is no restriction on cloud. There will no full of like cloud will not become full because they are having like multiple thousands and thousands of machines running. So they are making sure that nothing is getting full. Once it's close to full, they will hire more hardwares. So I think so this is the answer. The cloud will never full. Yeah.
Okay. One more query from Mr. Kannan Subramaniam. Is it possible to dynamically allocate number of cores for parallel processing?
Yeah, it is possible. So if you can dynamically allocate, yeah, you need to select few of the machines how you want. Based upon that, you can select, right? If you want like cores, better you can also have the GPUs. If you can use GPUs if you want multiple cores. All the things are actually provide here. If you whatever you want, you can use. So you can, it's possible, right? Whatever you can dynamically select the vCPUs, how many cores you want. So it's up to you. Yeah, maybe you can select any type. It's up to you. You can get instance. So it's not a big issue.
Okay, one more query is like how to improve the efficiency of communication by using the cloud locations which is distributed internationally.
Correct, exactly. It's a good question. So I can just cover it very simple, right? We go to EC2 instance. You can see here. So you can select here. Let's say if it's very simple. So I have seen here. I have created an instance on US West Oregon. If you want your instance to be on Mumbai, go to here Mumbai. Same, follow the same step. It will be, you can create an instance on Mumbai. So it's very simple using geography anywhere in the world. Like if you want, you can, it's open to you. You can create anywhere. There is no restriction, I think so, except China. So other things you don't have any restriction. It is very easy. You can create anywhere, but the cost is quite different. If you, because the cheaper is Norwegian on US, but if you take Mumbai, it's costly. Yeah, but latency, if you want to focus on latency, if you want to consider less latency, right, you can select your own geographical region. It's very simple, right? You can see here Mumbai. If you can see whatever you want, you can select those region and you can create those instances. It's simple. Yeah.
Okay, one more last query, Mr. Hishaam. If it not use some resources such as memory or processor CPU, how can we set dynamically to get or return the resources automatically?
Can you repeat the question, ma'am?
If we are not using any resources such as like memory or a CPU, how to dynamically get or return the resources automatically?
Yeah, it's actually when you are configuring the instance, right? It will ask you like how much memory you want, like how if you want to look, if you go here the EC2, it's actually asking you how much RAM and how much memory. If you are selecting its machine to you, it's actually involves, there is nothing but resource is not using, right? So it's because if you select anything, it will create, right? It will create you a separate machine. It assign to your name, so it involves billing for you. If you don't use also, it will be a like cost is getting up here. Yeah, if you want to create new instance, there's definitely cost. If you don't want to use, you need to terminate. If you have something as an idle, the cost is involved because it's given to you as a rent, so the cost is involved. So you should have like this. Yeah, better. Yeah, the resource is, if you create a resource, if you use it or not, you will be a billing. So like this possible. Yeah.
Okay, Sham, thank you. Thanks a lot. I think we are at the end of the question and answer session. And now I hand over the session to Ms. Jean Shilpa. She will be giving some announcement.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hishaam, for this wonderful session. I take the privilege to thank Mr. Hishaam for his excellent hands-on session on cloud computing. I'm sure the participants will be benefited. Always feel free to interact with our alumni who always love to share their knowledge. Thank you, Isham, and thank you all the participants for attending this webinar series. We would also like to announce that the certificates will be dispatched within a week's of time to your respective mail IDs, depending upon the days which you have attended for the webinar session. Thank you for your patient listening. Always feel free to interact with our alumni who are always ready to share the resource. Thank you.
Thank you.
motto of our university
is to emphasize the purpose of education, feeding our curiosity
and unleashing our individuality. Established in the year 1984,
accredited with A grade by NAC,
rated 4-star in QS rating for excellence,
ranked 3 among engineering institution in Tamil Nadu by NIRF.
B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology is an institution acclaimed for its quality in teaching, learning and research. The technological progress is marching towards colonizing Mars, innovating with artificial intelligence and global communication, enhancing the quality of life. So,
where does the key to the future lie? Good teachers are the reason why ordinary students dream to do extraordinary things.
the Department of EC justifies the saying. With highly qualified and experienced faculty members, the students are encouraged to think, question and innovate their ideas.
The EC department has 14 well-established industry standard laboratories with state-of-art facilities.
Outcome-based teaching learning technique are adopted for practical excellence. Students enhance their practical skills by carrying out real-time projects, collaborating with industries.
To create interest among the students, the EC department has the following clubs:
Hobby Electronics Club,
Social Technical Service Club,
Big Quiz, a quiz club,
EC Got Talent Club.
Apart from providing technical knowledge, the department emphasizes the importance of extracurricular activities too.
The department, along with the placement cell, provides soft skills as well as placement training to the students.
One of the major factors for the growth of the department is the strong bonding with its alumni.
Alumni surely share a good rapport with the department by sharing their experience and expertise.
The Department of ECE has signed MOU with various reputed industries.
ECE is surely a fine feather that goes into the President's cap.
Come, learn and innovate.